Hello and welcome to DromeFood. I'm Nolan Silverstein, and tonight we're going to make curried butternut squash soup. You will need 1 pound of butternut squash, 3/4 of a tablespoon coconut oil, 1/2 brown onion, 1/2 tablespoon curry powder, 1/2 tablespoon lemon juice, 1 cup of stock, 3 ounces of coconut milk, and cilantro to garnish. To break down your butternut squash, you will need 1 large chef's knife and a spoon. So let's start by doing this. First, cut off the top of the butternut squash and cut off the very bottom. Next, we're going to stand the squash up on what is called a plane. By cutting off the bottom, we've not only removed what is a hard and inedible part of the squash, but we've also provided ourselves with a steady, stable cooking or cutting surface. There we go. 1 cleanly cut in half squash. Since this is a 2-pound squash, we are going to only use 1/2 of the squash, and we are also going to reserve our seeds to be baked on 250 degrees with a little bit of salt, pepper, and olive oil. They make a great garnish and a snack. This squash is going to be steamed as opposed to roasted, and since it is being steamed, we want to remove the skin before cooking. So I'm just going to grab a vegetable peeler, start to shave off the outer layers of squash. I won't tell you what brand to buy, but I will tell you buy a Y-shaped vegetable peeler. It will save you tons of work in the kitchen. There we go. I want to cut this into 1-inch chunks. So I'm just going to cut about 1-inch lengths of the squash with my knife. Make sure they're all separated. The squash needs to be steamed. Grab a medium saucepan and a steamer basket with a little bit of water in the saucepan. You'll need enough water to steam for about 20 minutes. Place all of your squash into the steamer. Turn heat on to high and cover with a lid. Steam until fork tender. All right, next up, we have 1/2 of an onion that needs to be diced. We're looking for an even dice, although uniformity is not as important in the soup recipe as it may be in other recipes. Okay, this onion needs to be sauteed. Melt your coconut oil in a medium skillet. Also combine 1/2 tablespoon of curry powder with your coconut oil. A note about curry powder. Curry powder is a spice that must be cooked in order to taste good. Raw curry powder has a very unfriendly flavor. It's not very good. You need to toast and burn curry powder in order to get proper flavor out of the spice blend. Again, curry powder isn't just one spice, it's many different spices mixed together. So make sure that you add the curry powder early in your cooking. Once your coconut oil has melted, add all of your onions to the saute pan or skillet. Mix thoroughly and saute onions for 5 to 10 minutes until they have turned completely yellow and translucent. Need 1/2 of a tablespoon of lemon juice. So I'm going to cut this lemon in half. Probably need about 1/2 of that lemon for the amount of juice we need. All right, let's see if that's 1/2 a tablespoon. A little bit more than 1/2 a tablespoon, so reserve that until later. All right, once your onions have fully cooked, please reserve them until they're ready to be put into the soup. There we go. All right, when your squash is finished steaming, add it to your blender bowl. A pair of tongs comes in handy here. Be careful not to squeeze too hard or you will break up the squash and it won't make it to the blender. In this blender, we're going to add all of our sauteed onions, which are right here. 3 ounces of coconut milk. 1/2 of a tablespoon of lemon juice. And we're going to start with 1 cup of stock. Of course, we're going to blend until we reach our desired consistency, which is thinner than a pudding and thicker than a liquid. All right, there we go. A quick chef's note. When you blend hot liquids in a blender, make sure that you do not put the blender cap on the blender. You want to take a towel and cover the top with the towel and put your hand over the towel. What this does is it stops pressure from building up in the blender. Steam is going to be released very quickly when we start to blend this, and if there was a top, the steam would be captured in the middle of the blender, build up, and then pop the lid off of the blender. So we have an easy way for steam to escape in the top, and we're stopping everything from getting dirty by just leaving a towel on the top as well. So let's start blending this. We want to blend until we have a somewhat creamy soup. Let's check on it. Looks good to me. This is a soup. We want it to be thick enough to stick to the back of the spoon. That's exactly the texture we're looking for. Garnish your soup with a little bit of cilantro from ABC Rhubarb. Here we have curried butternut squash soup. Thank you for watching DromeFood. You're watching DromeBox.com.